Hi everyone, Chris here from IELTS Advantage with another one of our success stories. So today we have Ayesha, who was struggling with her writing. She's a doctor and she wants to move to the UK in order to get the score that she needs. She needs a 7, but she was struggling because she was getting a 6 in her writing. So today we're going to share how she moved from a 6 to a 7 in her writing, and you guys can learn from Ayesha's story as well. So Ayesha, can you just start off by introducing yourself to everyone?
Hi, my name's Ayesha Aziz. I'm from Mirpur Azad, Kashmir. It's an independent territory in Pakistan.
And let's talk about writing. What did you find difficult about writing, or what were you struggling with when it came to IELTS writing?
Everything. I was struggling with all four components of writing. I had band score 6 in my first attempt. I wanted at least a 7 band in writing.
Mm-hmm.
So, in order to improve that, I first identified my weak points, and I came to know that my grammar, vocabulary, task achievement, everything is weak.
Mm-hmm.
I worked on everything actually. First of all, I watched all the modules of your course. There were 12 modules for each task. After watching all the modules and taking notes, my own notes from your modules, I downloaded an app named The Guardian to read
Mm-hmm.
it because I remember you saying that a good writer is a good reader.
Mm-hmm.
So I just started reading books as well. I started Success by Napoleon Hill, and I maintained a vocabulary book. Whenever I used to learn a new word, I used to write it on that vocabulary word, on that vocabulary book, along with the meaning and how it can be used in sentences as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, then I downloaded some grammar apps. I practiced it a lot. I used to write task 1 and task 2 daily. After a lot of practice, I came to know that in grammar, I'm not making correct use of prepositions and articles. So I watched a video, 2 or 3 videos on YouTube. I downloaded an app for grammar, and I just started practicing how to use articles and prepositions correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Then another thing was, also not only I get my writings corrected by you, I also told my brother to check my writings on daily basis. He didn't know anything about IELTS, but I told him that you need to make out and you need to tell me which sentence I'm using in a wrong way, because his English is better than mine.
Mm-hmm.
So he used to point out that you are making this mistake in the sentence. So I used to get it checked daily by him. Also, I sent you 4 corrections. In my first correction, my score was 6. And after reading all the things that you highlighted and working on them, I sent another correction. And in that correction, my score improved to 6.5.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then I worked again for almost 1 month on everything. And in my third correction that I sent you, it was 8.
Mm-hmm.
And in my fourth correction, it was 7.
Mm-hmm.
So after getting the score 2 times, I gave the test and got the score.
Excellent, excellent. So let's talk about a few of those things in a little bit more detail. So you said you downloaded the Guardian app, a newspaper here in the UK, and you said that a good writer is a good reader. How did reading help you improve your writing?
It improves my vocabulary,
Mm-hmm.
number one. Number two, I also read every sentence very carefully. As I told you, I was having problem with the use of prepositions and articles.
Mm-hmm.
So what I used to do, I used to underline every article and every preposition that I came across in every paragraph in each line.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to understand how it has been used over here,
Mm-hmm.
and where am I making mistakes, like where am I not using them properly.
Mm-hmm.
So after doing that, I think my writing improved.
Yes, one of the things that we do with our students is instead of teaching them everything about grammar. We identify the exact problems that they have with grammar. So Ayesha is a doctor. If I come into the ER and I have a broken leg, you don't fix my arms or my head, you fix my leg, right? So the same thing with grammar. If you have no problems with punctuation or tenses or verb subject agreement or any of those other areas, you just have a problem with prepositions and articles. So we focus on that and fix that. So that's a much better way than, you know, trying to read a whole grammar book, because that's very boring as well. So I wouldn't recommend that. And the other thing that Ayesha did, one thing that we always tell our students is that you should be reading on a daily basis, but actively read. A lot of people read or watch TV or listen to podcasts, and they passively listen or passively read, whereas we tell our students to do something while you're reading or do something while you are listening, and try and do something related to your big weaknesses. So for Ayesha, she needed to improve her vocabulary, so she underlined those new words and recorded them in her vocabulary book, and then she underlined all of the prepositions and articles and practiced that. So she was not only reading every day, she was improving those weak areas every day. And anybody listening, that's what I would really focus on, is your weak areas and taking action to improve those weak areas. Would you agree, Ayesha?
Yes, I totally agree. I also want to highlight one another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Many people have students with idea generation.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Lots of
the
doctors
technique.
have a problem with that, I
Yeah.
find. That's the fact.
I love the technique that you told one of in your modules. It was about the coffee shop method.
Mm-hmm.
Before learning the technique, I used to take about an hour or sometimes half an hour to generate one simple idea. But after using that technique, I think idea generation wasn't a problem at all for me. It used to take hardly 1 minute, 2 minutes to generate a simple idea. So
Mm-hmm.
number one, coffee shop method that you taught us. Number two, simplicity. Idea has to be very simple, not really very complex.
Yeah.
And the third thing was practice.
Yeah.
I think after a lot of practice, it didn't become a problem for me in the exam.
Yeah, and a lot of doctors have a problem with idea generation because they make everything more complicated than it needs to be.
Hmm.
Whereas a big struggle that we have with doctors is they're so intelligent and they're so used to dealing with complex theories and complex things that we tell them, just make it as simple as possible. Think of the most obvious, straightforward, easy idea, and when they start to think about that, they're like, oh really, I don't have to think of the most complicated thing. I was like, no, you're not in
Exactly.
hospital now. You know, it's just an English test. And the other thing that you said was practice. You know, a lot of people will, even people who join our course, and we'll teach them a technique or a strategy, and they'll try it one time and they'll say it doesn't work. It's like, yeah, because
It
you've
won't
just
work for
learned
the
the
first time.
theory, you
Actually,
know.
nothing.
You need to practice it. Yeah. So
Yes.
and I would say that to anybody, if your teacher is teaching you something, don't try it one time and then say, oh, it doesn't work for me. If you trust that your teacher is helping you and knows what they're doing, you need to practice that technique, practice that strategy. You know, same in medical school. The first few years you're learning theory, but you need to practice and put it into practice. You can't go from medical school
Yes.
to well, hopefully not not working in a
Hospital.
hospital with just theory in your head. You need to apply that theory and put it into practice.
Exactly.
And the other thing I really like
Uh,
about your, sorry, go ahead. I've made notes so I can come back.
I just
Go ahead.
I wanted to add just one thing.
Hmm.
I also noticed that in order to switch from band 6 to band 7, one needs to have a lot of error-free sentences.
Yep.
What we do while writing, we do not focus on the mistakes, on the casual mistakes that we usually make, and we are not focusing on them. These are the mistakes that can be picked up if we read our essay after writing it, or we read every line after writing it. These mistakes can be avoided.
Hmm.
So one another key for achieving band score 7 is to write as many error-free sentences as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and what you said is totally true. To get a 7 or above, you need to have most of your sentences have to have 0 errors, an error-free sentence. And as you said, often people can make careless errors. So when I'm writing, I'm a native English speaker, I make errors all the time. Everybody does make careless errors. When you're writing in your native language, you probably make little errors as well. That's just part of being human. But you need to understand what your weaknesses are so that when you are going through your essay, for you would be hyper focused on prepositions and articles. For someone else, let's say they had a problem with tenses, they can understand that's a problem, and then when they're checking their work, they can focus on those and avoid those careless errors. So that's really good advice, Ayesha. The other thing that I was going to say was, the thing I really liked about your story was, you submitted your writing to us and we gave you a 6. Then you waited a while, and then you submitted another one and it was 6.5. And then you waited a whole month and submitted another one and it was a band 8. So, because what a lot of people do is they will submit writing, get a 6 or 6.5, and immediately do another essay and submit it again. And we're like, no. You need to fix all of these issues and work on these problems. You know, be like someone coming into hospital and you with a broken leg and saying, I want you to fix this in 1 week. Like, no, we can fix it, but it's going to take 6 weeks or 8 weeks, not 1 week. You can fix everything, but it takes time, and you need to do that, to allow yourself enough time to fix your weaknesses. So get the feedback, fix the weaknesses, and then submit another one. So that's really, really good to hear that you did that, Ayesha. And I think if you didn't do that, you would get frustrated. You might give up and be like, oh, this is a silly test.
And then a vicious cycle starts. You just can't improve if you keep on doing that, because not only and stress of failure leads to more and more stress if you don't work properly and then give another attempt and fail. So that's of no use.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what on the course we talk a lot about mindset, and how important that is, because if you don't have the right mindset or you don't have the right motivation, you're going to really struggle, and it's a lot to do with mindset. So Ayesha, I wish you the best of luck in your future, and I know that you're coming here to the UK to become a doctor. I hope I never see you, because I don't want to get I hope I don't have to go to hospital, but I thank you so much for choosing the UK, and I'm sure you're going to make this place better by helping people get better and helping people with their injuries in the ER and all those things. So best of luck with that.
Thank you as well. I think you have helped me a lot. I had given up the dream of going to UK. I had this dream since my childhood. But once I was just going through Facebook and I watched one of your videos. It was some 5 days course, crash course. And just after watching that, I thought that I should go for the subscription, and I should practice with you and learn from you. And it really helped me, and it helped me to fulfill.
Oh, you've muted yourself there, Ayesha, but anyway. So thank you so much for helping me out with this video and helping the other students. I really appreciate it. And in the future, if you need any advice on places to live in the UK or life in the UK, just feel free to email me, and I'll help you out with that. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Ayesha. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Chris here again. Hopefully you enjoyed that success story video. That student was part of our IELTS VIP course. And on that course, we show students exactly where they're going wrong and exactly what to do to get the score that they need. And we give them all the help and support that they need in order to get a 7, 8, or even 9 in their IELTS test. Now, we only work with a really small number of students. Because of the level of help and feedback and support that we give students, we can only work with a very small number of them. But we also have more success stories than any other online or offline course in the world, which has created a huge amount of demand for our course. So we're the only course in the world, I believe, that has a very, very, very long waiting list. If you want to join that waiting list, all you have to do is just click here and you'll be able to add your name, add your email address, and then when one of our students becomes successful and leaves the course, the next position can be for you. Hopefully see you in there. Bye-bye.